Pontius Pilates, Letters to Tiberius Caesar by Supernatural History, TV.
Before the Bible was canonized, early Christians had a wide range of beliefs and an even wider range of books. Some of these books made it into the Bible, others were taken out, and more still were taken out and then later placed back in. The canon of the Bible is a hotly disputed topic that has different start dates depending on different religious beliefs. What is far less disputed is that to the early Christians, there was no set of books that was considered canon. For centuries, early Christians read and enjoyed books that have either been forgotten or lost to time. One such book that was extremely popular among the early Christians of the Western Roman Empire was the Acts of Pilate. The Acts of Pilate are the supposed letters of Pontius Pilate to the Roman Emperor Tiberius Caesar about Jesus. The letters give account of Pilate during his time as governor of the Roman province of Judea. Although Pontius Pilate at one time was thought to be a fictional character, archaeological evidence has uncovered that Pilate was a real man and served as governor of Judea during the reign of Emperor Tiberius. There is very little information about the life of Pontius Pilate, but Roman historian Philo, Jewish historian Josephus, along with early Christian fathers of Origen and Eusebius, do mention the life of Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate in his early life likely served in the Roman legions, as it was common that prefects, or governors, held previous military command. It is believed that Pilate was a minor or middle noble, being a member of the equestrian order. Pilate became the prefect of Judea by Roman Emperor Tiberius, where he replaced Prefect Valerius Gratus. Pilate is believed to have served as prefect of Judea for 10 years, and it was during his time as prefect that the supposed Acts of Pilate were said to have happened. The Acts of Pilate begins with the chief priests and scribes assembling in council to accuse Jesus to Pilate.
The Jews say we have a law that we should not heal any man on the Sabbath. But this man of his evil deeds hath healed the lame and the bent, the withered and the blind and the bad, the bubonic, the dumb and them that were possessed on the Sabbath day.
Pilate saith unto them, By what evil deeds?
They say unto him, He is a sorcerer, and by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils, he casteth out devils, and they are all subject unto him.
In the Acts of Pilate, Pilate is told that Jesus is declaring himself King of the Jews, and a conspirer with demons and evil spirits, to which Pilate desired to meet with Jesus, whom he became curious about. Pilate commanded his messenger to bring Jesus to him. As Jesus walked into Pilate's palace, the Greek ensigns lowered their standards in respect to Jesus. This upset the Jewish priests, and Pilate ordered that the strong men among their members to hold the standard and tell them to not lower the standard upon pain of death. The new standard bearers could not, and lowered their standard in the presence of Jesus.
Now when Pilate saw it, he was afraid, and sought to rise up from the judgment seat. And while he yet thought to rise up, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with this just man, for I have suffered many things because of him by night.
When Jesus entered the room, the high priest accused Jesus of evil acts, from which Jesus' apostles defended him. Pilate told the high priest to leave so that he may speak to Jesus himself.
And Pilate went in again into the judgment hall, and called Jesus apart, and said unto him, Art thou the King of the Jews?
Jesus answered and said to Pilate, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me?
Pilate answered Jesus, Am I also a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done?
Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. For if my kingdom were of this world, my servants would have striven that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence.
And Pilate left Jesus in the judgment hall and went forth to the Jews and said unto them, I find no fault in him.
The rest of the Acts of Pilate go over the last days of Jesus, and the day Jesus was condemned to death. Pilate describes the day as a city under siege, and with such few soldiers under his command, he would lose Jerusalem. The conditions and state of Jerusalem was so severe that Pilate gave the final order for the execution of Jesus. The Acts of Pilate was a very popular written work in the Western Roman Empire. There has been over 500 surviving copies of the Acts of Pilate written in many different versions and languages. The date of when the Acts of Pilate is written is disputed, as the vast majority of the surviving copies come from the 5th and 6th centuries. There may be indications of earlier copies dating back to the 2nd century BC, with the work of Justin Martyr. There are some scholars that believe Justin Martyr made reference to the Acts of Pilate to the Emperor Antonius Pius, when he made mention of Pilate's reports to Tiberius Caesar around 150 to 160 AD. With the acknowledgement of Justin Martyr that there were letters between Pilate and Tiberius, would suggest that there may have actually been letters written by Pilate. Whether or not these letters are the same as the Acts of Pilate may never be known. The early church father and historian Eusebius wrote,
And when the wonderful resurrection and ascension of our Saviour were already reported abroad, in accordance with an ancient custom which prevailed among the rulers of the provinces, of reporting to the emperor the novel occurrences which took place in them, in order that nothing might escape him, Pontius Pilate informed Tiberius of the reports which were reported abroad through all Palestine concerning the resurrection of our Saviour Jesus from the dead. He gave an account also of other wonders which he had learned of him, and how, after his death, having risen from the dead, he was now believed by many to be a god.
Eusebius's account would suggest that there were letters between Pilate and Tiberius due to Roman custom of governors giving reports to the emperor, and made mention of his belief that such reports were written. As for the fate of Pontius Pilate after the crucifixion of Jesus, there are disputed accounts. Pilate remained governor of Judea for a number of years. According to Jewish historian Josephus, Pilate had been removed as governor by complaint of the governor of Syria for his harsh treatment of the Sarmatians. He was recalled by Emperor Tiberius, but before arriving, Tiberius died, and the new emperor Caligula ignored the controversy. As for the death of Pilate and his wife, the Ethiopian Church and the Coptic Christian Church believed that he and his wife converted to Christianity and were martyred. The Greek Orthodoxy also believed that Pilate had been converted to Christianity. The Catholic Church holds Pilate as a villain. Early church father Eusebius writes that Pilate committed suicide in Gaul, while another early church father, Origen, argued that he did not commit suicide and lived well as he was not the one responsible for Jesus' death. What do you think about the Acts of Pilate? Are they real? If not, were there letters sent between Pilate and Tiberius Caesar that describe the events of Jesus? What was the final fate of Pontius Pilate? Did Pontius Pilate convert to Christianity? The early Christians did not have a set list of books that were considered canon, and had access to many more books that have been lost to time. What are some other books the early Christians read? Let me know in the comment section below, and for more Supernatural History TV, like and subscribe.